Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit. In today's programme, we are obviously going to be looking at the Scottish Formula Ford Championship first. Later in the programme, we're going to have a look at the Scottish Fiestas. But the first race, as ever, is the Formula Fords. And as you can see, it's the 25 machine of Neil McLennan on pole position. Now, Neil has somehow, without anybody noticing, eked out a 38-point championship advantage. Neil, I've just said there, maybe a little bit unfairly, that you've eked out without anybody noticing a 38-point advantage by just these consistent results.
Yeah, delighted again to get another pole. Just hopefully for this race, just keep it very clean and just try not to get in any hassle and just bring the car home in one piece. And
takes a bit of pressure off a nice championship lead at this halfway point.
Yeah, it's a bit of pressure off, but still, it's not the end. So just got to watch what I'm doing and just keep the car in one place and bring it home. So we'll see how we get on.
Good luck.
Perfect, thank you.
Second place is the man that challenges him in the championship, Jordan Gronkowski, and he's been there pretty much all year in the Van Diemen. He's been developing this car. He's done a lot of wet testing with this car, so in the wet conditions he's really, really strong, but we don't see the same kind of strength sometimes in the dry. I'll have a little chat with him. Jordan, I've been talking about the wet testing and how you seem to have a good wet pace, but in the dry it's not quite the same yet.
Yeah, probably going to be the same story this weekend, Joe. We seem to be in a bit of a handicap for some reason on the straights. Still trying to get to the bottom of that, but I don't think there's anything we can really do about it. So I'm probably in these conditions going to be a bit of a sitting duck down the straights. So I'm expecting Jamie to try and come through pretty early. But yeah, we'll do our best to hang on. It'd be good to come away with a podium, but yeah, it might be difficult.
You and Jamie have been really consistently finishing on the podium lately, and I was surprised when I looked at the championship just now and saw that Neil's actually got 38 points on the championship.
Yeah, he just keeps racking up the wins. He's Mr. Consistent, and that's what you need to do in a championship. So, no, it's going well for him, and yeah, congratulations.
Good luck.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
With that, I'll hand it to Richard. He'll take us through the first Formula Ford race of the day.
Thanks, Joe. Neil McLennan then once again on pole. Jordan Gronkowski alongside, then Jamie Thorburn and Sebastian Melrose. Neil Broom lines up fifth ahead of Matthew Chisholm. Then Matthew Cowlin, Stephen Barlow. Ross Howe 9th from David Thorburn. David Hurry in 11th from Fraser Gray. Grid completed with Ivor Mares back in the Mondial and Fergus McIntyre. Well, Ross Howe sadly a non-starter, but we look at the front row of the grid. Neil McLennan and Jordan Gronkowski alongside. Lights go out and away we go. McLennan makes a good start. Gronkowski's going to just chop across the front, see if he can consolidate second place. But Jamie Thorburn already all over the back of him, and here's the view from Jamie's Ray coming down Duffus. He's going to have a nip through, maybe at Scotsman Corner on the first lap. Has a look, he knows the race isn't won on the first lap, or indeed the first corner, so stays in third place. Then in fourth position, it's Sebastian Melrose, the red car driver wearing the yellow helmet, but already getting away is Neil McLennan once again. McLennan's 38-point lead, by the way, is from Jordan Gronkowski, who's on 111 points, and Jamie Thorburn third in the championship on 102, and Thorburn looking to try and rectify that with a move to the outside line, having a good look there, and may well go back on the, well, I always say that, he might go on the cutback but decides against it as Jordan Gronkowski goes slightly tighter to the inside of the circuit, and that's exactly what Jordan was talking about with Joe. He said he was a sitting duck when it came to the straights, and, well, taking nothing away from Jamie Thorburn, teed him up and went past very neatly indeed, and Jordan Gronkowski down to third position. Sebastian Melrose now wants to have a look to see if he can get a podium as well, but all this, of course, means that Neil McLennan is away and down the road. Big lead already for McLennan. He's only been beaten once so far this year. That was round one of the championship, which Jordan Gronkowski took back on the 3rd of April, and we thought that we were going to be in for a Jordan McLennan battle all year. It hasn't happened that way, and I guess that's really indicative of Formula Ford racing. You never actually know what is going to happen, but Jordan will fight back. In car with Neil Broom, his 50th start in the Scottish Formula Ford 1600 Championship, and Neil qualified in 5th position, pole position for the Classic class, Class B, so congratulations to him on that pole, and he'll be looking to try and take the Classic class win. A little bit more competition in the Classics this weekend. Of course, Ivor Mares, as I mentioned on the grid, back out in the Mondial, considerably older car than the more modern Classics, of Neil Broom and Matthew Chisholm. But Broom's still there at the moment, running just behind Matthew Cowley, and behind Cowley it's Matthew Chisholm in the red car with a white crash helmet. But here's the battle for second position, such as it is at the moment, and Jamie Thorburn in the Ray heading Jordan Gronkowski in the Van Diemen. Of course, it's Ray with Neil McLennan out front, and McLennan bagging fastest laps as well. But Gronkowski coming under pressure now from Sebastian Melrose, and his Ray goes past, and Jordan Gronkowski, adding insult to injuries, down into fourth position, now coming under pressure from the black and yellow car of Matthew Cowley, which is another Van Diemen. So having been passed by a pair of Rays, he's now got a Van Diemen sniffing behind his Van Diemen as well. But having said that, you've got to say Jordan Gronkowski not finished, and was having a look there at the back end of Sebastian Melrose and trying to get the position back, but loses out, and through ahead of Gronkowski now goes Matthew Cowley. Cowley in turn about to have a look at Sebastian Melrose. They go through the hairpin, the climb uphill. You can see the race leader Neil McLennan not getting too much in the way of race coverage when he's out on his own, quite rightly following the battles that are going on behind here in round 7 of the championship. And this of course is the halfway stage of the season, this race. We've got another race to come later on, and we've got the August meeting, September and also October, treble header in our September meeting. But what a scrap we've got on here for third place, and at the moment Sebastian Melrose, if he looks in his mirrors, he'll see that he's got some issues to deal with. So Melrose in the, it's Ray 1, 2, 3 at the moment, McLennan, Thorburn and Melrose, with Matthew Cowley having a look down the inside. Cowley's challenging for a podium and goes through, very neatly done by the man from Stalybridge, goes through, and Sebastian Melrose will have to fight back. Jordan Gronkowski would have definitely wanted a little bit more power to deal with these two up the hill, but they're still side by side. Great Formula Ford racing. This is exactly how it's designed, and Melrose is fighting back on the outside line. Great racing. Melrose takes it, but was there a light touch there on Cowley's car? Gronkowski's across the grass, and that is a bad hit into the tyres for Jordan Gronkowski, and that's going to put him out of the race, if not out of the meeting. And that is second position in the championship down the Swanee. That really does add insult to injury for Gronkowski as we pick up on Stephen Barlow. Car number 30, Stephen Barlow, up ahead of David Thorburn. So coming through the chicane, David Thorburn chasing these two, dicing for 7th and 8th place at the moment. Neil Broom is up ahead of them. Broom having ceded the lead of the classic class, Class B, to Matthew Chisholm, who is the class championship leader. So Barlow comes through the hairpin and will climb up the hill as we go back to the guys that were dicing for that third place. So Sebastian Melrose is third. Matthew Chisholm is in behind in the 92 car. So Chisholm is there, but onto the last lap goes Neil McLennan. Neil heading for yet another win. He'll be sorry to see Jordan Gronkowski's car off circuit, because and a wide moment there, gets a little bit of opposite lock, decides to maybe do a little bit of drifting here, but that was good car control from McLennan. It's not going to be the fastest lap of the race for him on this last two. He has got the fastest lap of the race, a 55.035 seconds. He's well clear. He's 7 seconds clear of Jamie Thorburn in second place, and Thorburn will now take second place in the championship standings as well. But McLennan coming through to grab yet another win on his own. Remember, he wins the ticket to the Mazda Road to Indy finals as if he can win the championship. We've still got a little bit of a way to go, but anyway, there's the checkered flag for McLennan, who takes the win. We wait for Jamie Thorburn to come across the line. Here's Jamie, an excellent second position for him. Seb Melrose is going to come across the line and takes a third podium of the year. Matthew Chisholm not too far behind in the Van Diemen RF92. Then it was Matthew Cowley and Neil Broom in the white car, completing his 50th race in the Scottish Championship in the Swift, takes 6th position. David Thorburn just getting the better of Stephen Barlow there for 7th and 8th place. Let's take a look at the overall result. Neil McLennan from Jamie Thorburn and Sebastian Melrose. Matthew Chisholm winning the Classics from Matthew Cowley. Then Neil Broom and David Thorburn from Stephen Barlow, Fraser Gray and Ivan Mares. Fergus McIntyre next from David Hurry.
Neil McLennan, well done. Yet another victory. This championship's looking more and more like yours every time we go out there.
Yeah, delighted for another win. Raked up some more points there in that last race and caused out of any hassle, so absolutely delighted. Car felt absolutely perfect for the conditions we were in. It was just couldn't ask for anything better there in that last race.
Jamie, another consistent podium finish, another 2nd place. I predict they're getting a little bit old now. You're after that win. I know what you're like.
Yeah, 2nd's getting a bit boring now. We've had quite a few this year. We're getting closer, time-wise. We're getting as close as we've ever been to Neil, but he just seems to get away in the races. But race 2, starting behind him, hopefully tucking behind, follow him and give him a hard time at least.
Seb, well done. Welcome back to the podium. Consistent podium finisher now. A great drive.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's just, I have to keep keeping it up. It's never easy out there. The first few laps were quite interesting, but I managed to pull away and come home comfortably. So.
Scottish Formula Ford race number 2 about to head out on track, and again windy conditions, but it's still bone dry. And as before, Neil McLennan on pole position. He's really starting to march away in this championship. Jamie Thorburn jumping ahead of Jordan Gronkowski, who's got a lot of damage after his incident in race number 1. He's headed off home, so we have Jordan on the front row of the grid with Neil. But we'll grab this young man here, a familiar face to Formula Ford fans in Scotland. Kieran, champion from 2014, there we go, 2014 champion, and moving up in the world as the jumper suggests, McLaren GT. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I'm racing British GT and GT4 this year with the new McLaren 570S. It's going really well so far. We've had a few pole positions, but we've still to convert it into a race win, but I'm sure that will eventually come.
It's amazing that just 2 years ago, obviously, you were Scottish Formula Ford champion. Everyone said you were going somewhere, but what a great launching pad this is for young drivers trying to move up in the world of motorsport, as you'll prove yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great stepping stone for me down Formula 4, and it's great to come back here today and watch the next up-and-coming stars,
Any temptation to get back in the car? That's your old car, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the old one. That's the old girl there.
Yeah,
so,
Neil's car is obviously your old championship winning machine.
Yeah, it was a good car. I enjoyed driving it, and yeah, I'd love to get back out and win at some point, maybe Festival, Water Hayes, something like that. But yeah, we'll wait and see. I'd love to.
Good luck with the GTs.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through race number 2.
Great to see Kieran Haggerty here supporting the drivers that are following in his wheel tracks. Pole position there, Neil McLennan, race 1 winner from Jamie Thorburn, Sebastian Melrose and Matthew Chisholm. Row 2, row 3, Matthew Cowley, and then Neil Broom, David Thorburn and Stephen Barlow, Fraser Gray and Ivan Mares, followed by Fergus McIntyre, David Hurry and Ross Howe will take to the grid in this one after non-starting race number 1. Neil McLennan, though, looking to make it a 7th win of the season from 8 races. The lights are on here. Out go the lights. McLennan a little bit slow off the line by my reckoning, and Jamie Thorburn could be challenging for the lead. Thorburn has got the lead, but McLennan going through the gears well, and in fact, well, I said that, but he's been challenged for 2nd place as well. So terrific start by Jamie Thorburn up into the lead. I love that phrase of Joe's, which I've been using elsewhere, saying that you get a podium, but it gets old quickly. It's a great way of summing it up, and many other drivers have agreed with that I've spoken to. And Jamie Thorburn leads this one then. You just never know what's going to happen in Scottish Formula Ford racing. So Thorburn out front, Neil McLennan's got a race on his hand, and this is what the fans want to see here. They want to see a battle between these two out front. 3rd place is Seb Melrose. McLennan already on the case. He's going to be kicking himself for that start. Thorburn saw the opportunity. It wasn't a done deal by any stretch of the imagination. He still had to get across going down into Duffers Dip. So that was a good start from him. And this impressive field make their way up the hill. Here we go in car with Jamie Thorburn, the race leader. Oh, and he's passed. Thorburn's passed by McLennan. Great move by McLennan down into Duffers. And Thorburn will be disappointed not to have held the lead longer, but it's a case of as you were now in the Scottish Championship. We look back, and there is Matthew Cowley in black and yellow, 4th in the Championship. Neil Broom is challenging Matthew Chisholm, the white car chasing the red. They are the two leading drivers in the Classic class. Matthew Cowley, as I said, 4th in the Championship. He'll be closing down on Jordan Gronkowski. I don't think he'll be able to pass Jordan in the Championship standings in this race, but he'll get within striking distance here, assuming he gets a finish in this race himself. Jordan must be absolutely gutted. We're gutted to lose him for race 2, and we hope that he'll be back for our meeting on the 21st of August. So Neil McLennan has had to work hard for this, then going through and repassing for the lead, and Jamie Thorburn had his moment leading, but now of course he's, look at that, closing right up again on the race leader, not worrying about Sebastian Melrose behind him and focusing very much on what he can do about the race leader. Now remember, McLennan won the first race by 7 seconds. What is the advantage going to be, if any, in this one? McLennan will know that's a little chink in his armour, that start for sure, and that'll play on his mind going into the August meeting. Here's the view from Thorburn, has a look up the inside, coming into the hairpin, nothing doing there. I think McLennan has, for his part, reacted well, saying that start might play on his mind, but you have to say it didn't play on his mind in the race, because he just got on with the job of sorting out the race leader and going for it. So McLennan showing, you have to say, pretty good spirit in this one to come back, and Thorburn is fighting as well, knowing that there are mistakes that other drivers can make. But it's McLennan out front, Thorburn in second, Sebastian Melrose in 3rd place. Melrose in race number 1, achieving a 3rd podium of the year. Jamie Thorburn 6th podium of the year, his 4th second place of the season. McLennan's 6th win, and this is round 8 of the 15. So we are now past the halfway stage of the season, and incredibly how quickly these years rattle by. And as I say, it was so good to see, I can't believe it, champion from 2 years ago, Kieran Haggerty. Adam Mackay last year's champion, of course. Stuart Thorburn champion in 2013, Ross McEwen before that, and of course our great presenter Joe Tanner champion back in 2005, just to make him feel really old, but he knows when he won it and he knows how long ago it was now. Jamie Thorburn, terrific shot of him working the wheel, and he's still in 2nd place, losing a little bit of time at the moment to Neil McLennan, who took fastest lap in race number 1 as well. And fastest laps have been a forte for McLennan as well, though Jordan Gronkowski has had 2 of those, round 1 and round 3. Gronkowski pole in April, but McLennan 3 pole positions since then, really stamping his authority on this championship. Great to see Ivan Mares, he's chasing the number 30 car there, Steve Barlow, in the Graham Brunton Racing Prepared Ray 1998, made his debut in the championship in 2014. And there's Ivan Mares in the Mondial going through. Great to see, always good to see Ivor over, a multiple champion in the Classic class. First outing with us this year, and good to see him. 10th position in race number 1, and I think 3rd in the Classic class, obviously behind Matthew Chisholm and Neil Broom. As we said, the benchmark was changed for the Classic class cars at the start of last season, so it does allow more modern machinery in. We'll see whether Ivor can make more progress up through the field in this one, but meanwhile past us goes David Hurry, the Orkney based driver in the Van Diemen RF90, and then following him Fraser Gray, who is in the Ray, that rhymes, which is good. He's from Helensburgh, again prepared by Graham Brunton Racing. Fraser ever present in the top 10, just one retirement for him so far this year. But onto the last lap, and you can see the lead. It's not as big as it was in race 1, 7 seconds in race 1, but remember we had a a reasonable scrap going on for podium positions in race 1, but McLennan's gap here is 4 seconds back to Jamie Thorburn in second place. So Thorburn is here he is in the Border Reivers Graham Brunton racing car through the chicane, still chasing hard. It's closer in this race than it was in race number 1, but the gap first to second still 4 seconds. Sebastian Melrose is still going in third. Up through Clark we go, on board with the second place car for the last time. And Thorburn will consolidate second place in the championship and move on to 142 points. Neil McLennan's going to break the 200-point barrier here. There's the checkered flag. 201 championship points now for Neil McLennan. Thorburn will take second. Where is Jamie? There he is. 142 points for him now in second position. Very close for third place. Melrose and Cowley very close at it. Sebastian Melrose has closed in on Matthew Cowley, who in turn has closed in on Jordan Gronkowski in the championship standings. Gronkowski still third from Matthew Cowley. Melrose will be fifth in the championship, side by side. Neil Broom and David Thorburn going the way of Neil Broom, who finishes second in the classic class behind Matthew Chisholm, who is the race winner once again. And Ivan Mares just getting the better of David Hurry and Fraser Gray, 8th, 9th and 10th respectively in his result. McLennan, Thorburn, Melrose from Cowley and Chisholm, Neil Broom next from David Thorburn, Ivan Mares, David Hurry and Fraser Gray. We just saw those guys go across the line. Fergus McIntyre next from Stephen Barlow, and then Ross Howe in 13th.
Neil McLennan carrying the Highland Industrial Supplies Limited sponsor. Another win, increasing the championship lead as well.
Yeah, another win. Absolutely couldn't ask for anything better for this weekend. And coming home with good points, 2 fastest laps, so just absolutely delighted.
Yeah, obviously you've got a small advantage over everybody. It is a small advantage, but you seem to have the ability to consistently do those laps, and that's what's breaking them. You're not making any mistakes, you're consistently doing it, and then over the course of the race distance you're just gradually pulling away. But in the early laps there, I think it's just a matter of time before Jamie gets frustrated and sticks one up the inside.
Yeah, I was really lucky at the start. Jamie and me had a good battle at the start, but no, it was absolutely, it was close. It was very close at the start. I was lucky to get by, and also to try not to make any mistakes after I got past Jamie and try and make a gap to break the toe. And lucky enough, I think I broke the toe to make a big enough gap to not have a battle again. So no, absolutely delighted with the weekend, and just can't thank the team enough and my sponsor HIS.
Jamie, well done, another second place, but I can see the frustration building in the early laps there. Neil, he's got a little bit of pace and he takes a while to go, and in those early laps I thought I was going to see a kamikaze move.
Yeah, we got a good start, managed to get past, kind of sat in front of him for the first lap, and then kind of just, I don't really know what I was thinking, kind of didn't defend, and he got up the inside. Stayed with him for the next couple of laps, and I was tempted just to throw up the inside at the hairpin, but we were a little bit too far back, and after that I made a little mistake into Clark's on the 4th lap, and then he broke the toe, and it was game over after that, really.
Seb, well done. A regular now. I'm going to call you a regular podium finisher. You're comfortable in that 3rd position, but we need to see that 2nd place and then the win.
Yeah, well, you know, I suppose the 2nd place will come just like the 3rd came, without really knowing when it was going to come. But no, you call me a regular, but I still feel as happy as I did when I first got on the podium.
That brings today's action to a close from the Scottish Formula Fords and from the Scottish Fiestas, but some great racing we have seen all day long. Make sure you tune in next time for more action.